This one here, Matthew 13. First book of Kings, chapter 3. Solomon's request of God. The book of Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, and the book of Wisdom are attributed to him. Even the Song of Songs and the collection of Psalms. So in the first book of Kings, you'll see here the reign of, that's the years of the reign, during the reign of King Solomon. Commentary 3, 1-5, verse 14. The most important trait of Solomon is his wisdom. That should be underlined. The sacred writer shows here the source and evidence of that wisdom. You know what? It's a gift from God. It can be seen the way Solomon administers justice, in the way that court and kingdom are organized. You can read the rest. If you feel hot, you're most welcome. See, we have ice. We have cold drinks there. It might soothe you a little bit. Psalm 119, the love of God. Psalm 119, there's a question to ask ourselves. Do you love God's commands? When you obey God's commands, do you feel obligated to do it? Do you feel obligated? Psalm 119 talks about the distinction between obeying God out of love or obeying God out of obedience. Big difference. Why do you go to Mass every Sunday? Why do you go to Mass every Sunday? Because it's a command. In other words, the only reason you go to Mass is because we're asked to do it. So if we're not asked to do it, we would stop going to Mass. Or do we go to Mass because we love God? There's a difference between the two. Because when we are fulfilling our obligation, we look at it as a burden. Oh, I have to do it because I have to obey, because I'm afraid of punishment. When you do obey, because you want to avoid punishment, that's another way of saying it's a burden, but I have to do it, so I do it. Compare it to I do it because I love to do it. Big difference, right?
Isn't it both?
No, but I'm comparing the two. You do it out of love. You do it because you love God. Not because you are told to do it. It's just like this. If somebody tells you, you hold the door. You hold the door for this old person to get through. You hold the door. But you held the door because you have been told to do so. Compare that to you hold the door because you just love to do it. You do it out of love. Which one is better? The first or the second? The second is better. Because you do it out of love. Not because you were told to do so. That's my point. Okay? Romans 8. You must highlight verse 28. Everything God works for good with those who love Him, who are called according to His purpose. That's the bottom line of Romans 8, 28 to 30. The summary is in verse 28. Is it okay to pray? Is it okay to pray, Lord, help me to see what I need to see? Is it okay to pray that? Yes. Help me see what I need to see. Help me hear what I need to hear. Not okay? It is okay. Is it okay to pray for the harm of somebody? You know what? I hate that person. God, can you have him dead tomorrow night? Is it a valid prayer? One famous radio commentator, at the beginning, at the very start of the president's reign as president, said, I pray that his presidency fail. You heard that? Did you hear that? A supposed to be Christian on radio prayed that this president's reign should fail. And another Christian says, my only concern is he doesn't get re-elected. That's his only goal for being there. That he doesn't get re-elected. Are those valid prayers? Yes, sir.
I would say, first off, in a political context, it's a boomerang. You end up where you start. But if you look at the immoral policies that Mr. Obama is putting forward, pushing abortion, pushing euthanasia, rationing of health care, I think one should pray that these are not enacted. Okay? We can't really sit by, as you pointed out, be in a moral sleep.
Right.
So therefore,
again, the balance.
If you're going to pray and you're going to make the request that these immoral policies fail, that's one thing. If I don't like him, he's a low life, he drinks, he beats his wife, he cheats at cards, he steals elections, he doesn't leave anything out. You know, that's a totally different ballgame. But I think if you're focusing on specific areas where he's addressing what the late pontiff referenced as the sinful structures of the contemporary world, I think that would be valid. As far as him being re-elected, well, that's up to...
It's up to you. In other words, we must hate the sin, but we must love the sinner. You heard that time and time again, right? So you hate my sin, but don't hate me. You understand? You still love me, even if I am me. You understand? So it's not good to say, I hate you. Have you said that to your spouse? I hate you. But have you again forgotten that God is your Father, all-powerful, infinitely wise, full of mercy? Again, this is a related reading, Romans chapter 8. And considering Matthew 13, in one word, the net. Commentary 44 to 46. This is the bottom line. The supreme value of the kingdom of heaven and the attitude people need if they are to attain it. That should be highlighted and double underlined. Commentary 44 to 46. See that? Gospel. The supreme value of the kingdom of heaven and the attitude people need if they are to attain it. That must be highlighted and said on Sunday. What is so superbly important to you that you will sacrifice everything to get it? Let's say you want a Mercedes-Benz 2015 model. You love it so much. You will do everything to get it. What will you do to get it? Maybe you can say, even if my spouse leaves me, it's okay, as long as I get it. Or, it's okay if I work overtime between now and 2015 every day, just so I can get it. Yes? That's how valuable the kingdom of God is. You will spare nothing in order to get it. Remember the precious sparrow? Remember the treasure buried in the field? You'll stop at nothing to spare in order to get it. Understand? Some people, they will, I don't know about here, I haven't seen it here. When I was a young person, a young child, I would saw women, they would walk from the rear of the church to the front on their knees. They walk on their knees.